Hey nerds, so first off, we talked about Prey, and yeah, you gave me one of the things I wanted most, and that was a Predator in a not modern timeline. But then you're gonna give me a animated Predator movie, and then you're gonna give me three different Predators in three different timelines, and you're gonna put it all together in one anthology movie, and then wrap it up in a fourth chapter, and then leave a cliffhanger at the end that wraps in not only the previous movie Prey, but also the two biggest Predator movies in the franchise, Predator 1, Predator 2. Yeah, that's Predator Killer Killers. And you pretty much made that specifically for me. And I thank you, Dan Trachtenberg. You are the man. So let's talk about it. Predator Killer Killer. So in this movie, you get three distinct eras that this movie takes place in. And first off is the Shield, which is the Viking era, which is one of my favorite eras of human history to study and read about. So yeah, to have a sci-fi movie, an animated sci-fi movie with a Predator taking place in the Viking era, yes, awesome. So the Shield was great. Second was, let's pick another one of Vinny's favorite time eras, and that would be feudal Japan, and that's the Sword. So chapter 2, the Sword, takes place in feudal Japan with, yes, predators fighting samurais and ninjas. It's amazing. And then finally, who doesn't love studying about World War II? And the Bullet takes place in World War II, and not only does it have Predator fighting American soldiers in World War II, it also has airplane dogfights, like Air Force dogfights versus Predators, not just ground level, like typical run around hand to hand fighting. You have actually fighting Predators in their ship with World War II airplanes. Stop me right now. I'm gonna I can't do this review anymore. I have to go back and watch this movie. First off, I love the animation in this movie. It takes a lot of the more recent, like Spider-Man, Spider-Verse style influence that, Ninja Turtles most recent animated movie took their version of that. And also, like, there's a great series on Netflix called Arcane, where the animation is obviously computer generated, but there's a lot of drawn elements to it. It's a lot of the art looks painted, almost coming to life from a drawing. So really, 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 really gorgeous. I enjoyed every moment of it. I thought it was stunning, and it was pure ferocity. Lots of action. What I really like about this movie too is that in each individual chapter, you get to meet the human characters. Even though these are small little vignettes within a larger movie, you're getting these little 30-minute kind of episodes, and they take time for you to get to know these characters. You find out what their motivations are: revenge, honor, survival, and the battles that they have with themselves. And then you put the predators into their, story, and each individual predator kind of like mirrors their challenge. It's really well done, very creative. And again, like, it all flows. It's all based on character. Just like in the previous chapter, Prey. There's no real info dumps. There's no exposition dialogue. It's just nonstop action. You get involved. You're meeting these characters. You're finding out what drives them, and then boom, they're faced with this amazing intergalactic challenge and how they're going to overcome it as a human. And then boom, the story takes place, and then they fight through their catharsis of what their personal challenges are in this broader mythos. It's not just humans versus predators. It's really about different hunting cultures, and when it comes to Viking warriors, samurais, and then modern day soldiers, or now, in comparison to those, obviously we're talking about the 40s and 50s, but yeah, modern technological soldiers, and how they would, um, their philosophical undercurrent, and like how it adapts, and how it speaks to the predators, and what they're doing, and what their purpose is as a race, and coming here to Earth. There's definitely some bold storytelling. It's just not another monster movie. It's really a film that focuses on what it means to be hunted, and by going through each era and each individual time in history, and the stakes that were involved there, with melee combat being in one, stealth the other, and then obviously aerial combat the final one, and then there's a fourth chapter that kind of brings it all together, which I'll get into. But it expands the Predators as being more of a cosmic story than just an intergalactic story, and how that all entails and ties into each individual protagonist's journey in the story. It's just with that and the animation quality, it's super polished. I love the anthology format. I really enjoyed it. I would watch as many as these as Dan Trachtenberg would put out. If he just wanted to drop one of these once a year and had 3 different time eras and just put Yautja into different stories, it would just be awesome to see this. Like, put him into, gangster underworlds in the 1920s. It would there's the possibilities are limitless. It would just be it would be fantastic to watch. So the first story, The Shield, takes place in Scandinavia. The main character is Ursa. She's our first protagonist. I want to say it's probably like early 800s AD, mid 800s AD, right around during Viking era, clearly. And Ursa is out for vengeance. Her and her son are out to take revenge on her father being killed by another clan. There's going to be some spoilers in here, so if you haven't watched it, be careful. If you have watched it, keep going. Keep watching. So you're allowed to keep watching. So yeah, as the story begins, Ursa's on a quest for vengeance. She achieves her conquest. She kills the man who killed her father, and then the Predator arrives, and then it turns into an all-out war of her and her clan versus this monstrous Predator. And in the end, she does win against the Predator, but the price costs her Anders. Her son is mortally wounded and dies in her arms. And the theme of this is vengeance and legacy and paternal sacrifice and the primalness of it and what it means to actually get vengeance. And her bond to her kid is central to the story, and his death underscores what she was willing to do in order to achieve what she wanted. She had to sacrifice what she loved the most. It has very old world combat. It's super fun. Shields, swords, axes. It's a blast. The Predator has some the Predators in all 3 of these chapters all have cool different technology than previous Predators. So you get to see a different thing with each one. So it's really fun and exciting, and engaging. I really love The Shield. It may have been my favorite of the 3 chapters, but the other 2 are fantastic. So, 3. There's a 4th chapter as well. So the second chapter takes place in feudal Japan, and it stars 2 brothers, Kenji and Kiyoshi. They're samurai brothers. They show their backstory a little bit, where they were essentially forced to battle each other, and the winner would become the new lord of their kingdom. And Kenji refuses to duel his brother, and then his brother Kyoshi defeats him, and then Kyoshi becomes the lord, and Kenji is essentially lives in exile. And that happens early in their timeline, and this takes place years later. A Predator comes and attacks their castle, and Kenji and Kyoshi have to essentially team up to take out this Predator. And basically the Predator represents a test and a bond to their brotherhood, and they have all this anger and pain from their past. But in order to defeat this Predator, this great challenge, they have to come together and put that all past each other. And it's really a wonderful story about how the brothers come together at the end and put away their past and their rivalry and their hatred for each other in order to defeat this monster, so they don't die, and other people in their kingdom, other loved ones, don't die. So another good story about brotherhood, rivalry, redemption. Kenji has some ninja skills in this one, so you get to see a little ninja action too. You get to see some samurai action, tons of like samurai swords, and I mean, absolutely, the moment you ever seen a Predator, you're like, this would be great to watch somebody fight them with a samurai sword. And we kind of had that in Predators, where one of the kidnapped humans was a Japanese gangster. Oh my god, I can't think of it. But he had a samurai sword, and Yakuza. He was a Yakuza, and he had a samurai sword with him on the planet, and he got to fight a little bit with the samurai sword. So we got a little bit of a taste of it, but this is full on feudal Japan samurai ninja action. Check it out, super good. The third chapter is a World War II story. The main character is Torres. He is a pilot, and this one is just straight up aerial dogfight. Torres and a squadron of fighter pilots in their planes, versus a predator that gets involved in the middle of an aerial strike that the Allied forces are engaging, and a predator spaceship, kind of gets involved in the middle, starts taking them out, and they try to survive, and they're trying to figure out what exactly this thing is that they're fighting an alien ship in the middle of World War II. And Torres is our main character. Again, he has another conflicted story. He's a pilot, and he's also a mechanic, and he grew up as air mechanic with his father. And they show you a lot of backstory on that. This one's a lot of man versus machine and survival and unity, and how that Torres wasn't necessarily respected by his fellow airmen, and then in this he's fighting side by side with them in the plane, and does his best to try to save as many as he can. And it's an awesome story, and definitely you get to see the Predator's spaceship as a combat weapon, which we don't see in any of the other Predator movies. We see them come to Earth or wherever they're going in their ships, but never actually kind of see them dogfight. So that's really cool from a sci-fi element. I really enjoyed that. Honor in wartime. That's kind of what this one's about, and overcoming, just exceedingly crazy situations in the time of wartime is kind of the metaphor for this one. But the good thing about this story is you take Ursa, you take Kenji, and you take Torres, and you find out that yes, they all defeat the predators that they are combating in their stories, but at the end they are captured, and they're brought to the Predator homeworld. And in chapter 4, you see all three of them team up in a crazy gladiatorial style combat. So yeah, you get to see all three main characters, Ursa, Torres, and Kenji, team up at the end to try to survive this gladiatorial style combat on the Predator homeworld, fighting different kinds of creatures and monsters, and all for the entertainment of the other Yautja and Predators on their homeworld. And yeah, so how would someone that was born in 1800 and 1600 and in 1940, how would they all be able to be the same age and survive long enough to fight together? Well, you find out that they get cryogenically frozen by the Yautja, and essentially they have this huge battery of just humans and other people, other alien races, and other people who have probably defeated Yautja, people that have proven themselves to be mighty warriors by killing people in their race. And so they keep these people, and then they defrost them, and then have these big pit fight challenges, which is completely new. Never thought of this before. Definitely a different take from Predators, where they took people and put them on a planet, but this is some stuff that they did pull from possibly different comics and different books. But yeah, this is the first time you see it. And then at the end, you get the cliffhanger, the little teaser at the end. They show you in those chambers, you get to see that they took Naru from Prey, and they have Dutch, and they have, from the first one, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, and then Danny Glover's character, Harrigan, also in cryogenic chambers. So does that mean we're going to get another one, and we're going to get to see Arnold and Danny Glover in animated form fight in a pit fighter style gladiatorial combat with Naru next to them? That would be amazing. Dan Trachtenberg is making these movies specifically for me, so I guarantee you that's probably going to happen, because that's what I want to happen, and that's what this guy's been doing. So keep it up. Yeah, that's Predator Killer Killers. Totally enjoyed it. Tons of fun. Action-packed from beginning to end. And yeah, this is the second chapter of the Dan Trachtenberg Predator movies, and then Predator Badlands is his latest edition, and I'm going to give you a little more insight on that soon. All right, bye.